Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Rohan No Deaths run, where the goal is to try to meet our campaign objectives without letting any other factions on the map be eliminated. We're answering a threat now from North Rune. They're off over here, just downhill, and they're leading a pretty large force against one of our settlements, Garth, which is off there in the distance. You can just see it. We do have the garrison showing up as reinforcements, but they are really not significant, so I've sent the first couple units who showed up actually back with the hope that we are going to get some better guys showing up in the queue. We just had a couple units of very, very beaten up infantry, and that's really not what we need here. What we need here is, well, better stuff all around. We'll see how this goes. You can see North Rune is ceding the high ground. We will have the height advantage, but they've got quite a lot of units here. They've got 4 units of slingers, which are going to be... Slingers are kind of tough to deal with. I'd rather deal with archers most of the time, honestly, because slingers have shields. So they're going to be more resistant to arrow fire themselves. They've got decent numbers, and, you know, they can be annoying in melee. So they're going to be a bit of a problem. We do have slingers ourselves, but North Rune has also brought a lot of melee infantry, and some of them are quite good. They've got these Axemen of Rune. More worryingly, they've got these Spearmen of Rune, which are much heavier. And they get a lot of warband too, but they've also got a decent amount of cav. I think they got 5 units of these mountain raiders. These by themselves are not significantly strong, you can tell by the armor. But, you know, like everything, what we're facing is kind of better than what we have ourselves. We've got no infantry. We've got no infantry line. We've got skirmishers. We got 4 kind of units of skirmishers. We've got slingers who are now doing some slinging. And that's it for foot troops. We've got a lot of, well, we've got some cav. It's not a lot of the best, but it is some cav. It's mostly lancers, Rohan spears, or these Rovanian scout levies, or the mercenary variant. Pretty much the same thing. We do have 3 bodyguard units leading Riders of the King's House, and so that's probably going to be the most significant factor here. And then we got some other cav units that are ranged to various degrees. We've got a unit of horse archers, and then we get 2 units of these Riders of Rohan, or Rohan riders, with javelins. So we'll just play keep away from those melee units, infantry. I'm glad that they're keeping the cavalry back, because I'm not sure, honestly, quite how I would deal with that right now, especially if we were getting pressed by infantry at the same time. So we'll let them come up, we'll withdraw, we'll charge like a unit like this. I think we could charge with our light cav. But we'll see if they're going to actually connect. They may withdraw, yeah, and then we'll just hit them in the back. So this is very encouraging. I think there's only a couple of Axemen units. Slingers are like charging my cavalry, which is fine. Warband are probably going to be routing if we can focus on them, and they're being very slow to mount a significant defense. So I'm happy to draw this out. Now I sent those first 2 reinforcements back. I don't know why it's taking them so long. I don't know exactly where they have to go. But you can see we've got some guys lined up here. Again, it's mostly stuff like foresters, some bowmen, some slingers. Over here, go all the way to the other side. I think this is where my cavalry reinforcements are, and I was hoping they would show up. I'd love another horse archer unit and another light lancer unit. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, they're not showing up yet. We'll see how that is going to play out. Alright, we are getting some cavalry pressing us a little bit, so let's hit those mountain raiders with our Rohan riders who have basically used all their javelins. And I'll come back with my horse archers too. I don't think we'll need the horse archers, but I think their presence is going to help push those guys into a rout, and we are getting some running happening here, so let's get our cavalry over to deal with this. Alright, they've got a general unit right here, and here's the cavalry. Here's the Axemen of Rune. Let's get my light lancers attacking them.
The enemy general flees.
Okay.
Forward, so the spirit of his army is broken too.
I think we do want to keep going with this. Spearmen of Rune are being attacked by my cav. You know, normally that's a very bad thing, but if we can get him from the side here. Just lost their general. These units have a fear effect. So yeah. And let's keep up the charge. This is not a pretty battle to watch, and of course it is not an easy one to fight on account of all the trees. So we're going to lose more men than we would if we had better visibility. Let's hit those warband. I think we can get them to rout. And yeah, let's just keep pushing them down the hill. It looks like they're going to withdraw, and so we'll just chase them away and see what we can end up with. Okay, so they had enough men to stay on the battle, on the campaign map at any rate. But we did save the city, and that bought us a little bit of time. Again, North Rune just has these two settlements, Forenhood and Yaur Helkar. So it'll be a while before they can threaten us again. They do have this fort here, but not terribly concerned about that. Let's see if we can get the public order here under control. Only one season before we finish that Dominion building. And actually looking at it, we can't get the public order any better by stuffing more bodies inside Garth. It's as high as it's going to be with the garrison benefit. And so we just have to hope this is going to work out. I could potentially bring my ruler in. That authority is going to have some impact on public order, I believe. So let's put him in and see what that looks like. Oh, it's worse. It's actually worse. So that's not going to work. We'll just take him right out. And I don't think this guy's any better. This is our heir. He's inept. Generous is kind of nice, but being inept itself is enough to decrease the public order, and yeah. I mean, I guess we can try it, but I'm not holding my breath. Oh, actually 70. Okay. Good to know. It's worth looking at traits. What else does he have? He's got generous, which is increased public order. So that probably counters the decreased public order from being inept. Let's see. I think all this stuff is not public order related. +2 to law from being an Aorling. I don't know if that really affects public order, or if that just affects the money. I know normally law has an impact on public order as well as decreasing corruption, but in the mod we made some changes. Oh, he's charismatic, so that's probably part of it. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell exactly why the game likes him but doesn't like the king. But we'll leave him in there for a turn. Hopefully he won't die. Meanwhile, we'll get these guys back together, and then we'll have to see what North Rune feels like doing in the next little bit. The far more pressing issue, of course, is our finances. We are losing a bunch of money, even after having relieved that siege, and we are already in the negative, so this is going to take us a little while to fix. We do have a lot of troops lying around that I haven't made much use of, including these guys who are just sitting in Edoras for the longest time. Some of them are very expensive indeed, but we're going to use them to relieve the siege at Anghal, and then possibly swing north and start taking some more ground from Tharbad. This army may get a head start on it. We'll move them up here, and we'll just get up towards Rivendell. Rivendell is probably, yeah, Tharbad has built this up pretty well, or at least to the point where they can, work on some other buildings here. So we could get some good money out of that, and then I don't know if it's going to be useful really as an economic place once we take it, because the population is fairly low, and it doesn't have any trade goods as I recall. But it'll be a nice place to hold. What I would like to get also is Lastbridge. This is a chief city, a nice choke point there as well. And who owns the High Pass? Still nobody. This is really nice. I mean, the rebels own it, so technically, we're at war with them. But the fact that the Bjornings haven't taken this means that I'm much more inclined to go up to Lastbridge, because I will not be so worried about someone immediately coming and attacking me from the east. So that's all fine. What's not so fine is, of course, our public order problems and just the general economic malaise we're experiencing currently. We don't have much in the south. Around Habad, we are working on Outland Dominion, so if we can hold out until all those things get fixed, then, well, maybe we'll be in a better position. But maybe the thing to do is do some raiding, right? Is to sort of get a bunch of cash, stop giving money to people, and just start taking over places for the money and just leaving it behind. We've caused a lot of chaos in the south, but it might be time to start some sacking and looting. Now, we want to be a little careful with it because we can't replace any of these troops right now. But I think, you know, it might not be a bad thing to try to deal with this army. It's got 3 units of spears, it's got a couple units of archers, 3 actually, and 2 units of swords with a single cav unit. So I think that this will not be too difficult of a fight for us. Alright, so we've got a, as is typical, a pretty cav-heavy army. We also have some archers, some skirmishers, and some spearmen. I'm doubtful that they're going to stay in the field, though. We'll see as we advance toward them what they're going to do. They've got a decent spot up on the hill, and they could do a lot of damage to us. This is not the battlefield I would want ideally, because you'd want to have them, I don't know. I guess I can get back here. There's some room before we run into the edge of the map, but it's not really ideal for sort of a encirclement type scenario. But they're moving to reposition on the hillside. Let's get our horse archers up here. See, but they do have some archers that I really don't want to do too much damage to us. So we'll just come on pretty steadily. You see how much the AI moves around when you speed it up like this, though. It's crazy. I mean, it's certainly good for us that they're using up all their stamina. Okay, so, and again, they're not really focusing fire on us. But let's bring these guys up, and let's bring these up as well. I think what I could do with them is maybe push up against the archers. Only 2 Swords of Harad units to worry about. And so if we could get rid of their archers, or at least, you know, do some damage to them, that'd be very nice. Or just, you know, hold off what they're going to do to us. Okay, I'm not really seeing any swordsmen throwing anything yet. We're getting a bunch of free shots in. Especially on the Swords of Harad, that's very nice. And, okay, so let's stop the bowmen there. And we'll stop our spear line. They're kind of where I want them. Okay, Archers of Harad. We're actually taking a bunch of them out. Let's put these guys on skirmish. They're being extremely hesitant. Alright, Spearman of the Serpent running in. I could start pinning these guys. And then we'll just see what we're going to do. Let's hit the footman head on. I think we can handle that. And yeah, let's get my lancers down here. Alright, we've got this Herodwaith Riders unit that really wants to get into the fray. Alright, let's hit the Swords of Harad. We'll just kind of keep this pulling on through. And let's actually stay on him. Actually, that unit is probably too far away to be meaningful, so let's bring them up. Make sure everybody's nice and off skirmish. And what do they have still? 38 men to our 44. You know, I don't think we need to run anymore. Alright, come on. Register that double click, guys. Archers of Harad. Let's send a unit of horse archers after them just to make sure that they're gonna well and truly rout. Alright, let's get our skirmishers down here too.
The enemy general is running away. This is no.
Alright, got the general there with our Riders of Rohan. And everything's gone. This is very good. It took out some dangerous units with not too much loss to ourselves, it looks like. So this actually went better than I expected on initially seeing the battlefield, and they didn't run away. They decided to stick it out the whole time, so good for them. And we'll see where this leaves us on the campaign map, but I'm thinking it's, you know, it's a pretty decent position. So yeah, we got a 75% chance of just opening, of getting in here, and then it's a question of can we open the gates once our spy is inside. I'm not thinking we have great odds of that. This spy is, I mean, he's actually quite good. But a 75% chance, that just seems like death to me. I've seen too many spies die to a 75% odds. So we will just not worry about that. Athendad, I wouldn't mind sacking. Of course, we did sack Umbar once already. It's doubtful that the AI has gotten that all back together. Let's go on to our allies' territory. Maybe we'll head down to An Umbar, and maybe we can try to sack that. Oh, we've also got this other army here. That's right. It's probably why we're losing so much cash. We got all these mercenaries we can possibly afford. Well, with that out of the way, this is a much better army to start taking cities. So let's head down here. I kind of wouldn't mind taking a bunch of these armies out in one go. I think we want to head right for Athendad. This guy's going to take 3 turns or so to get to us. And then we could sack that and then move on. Of course, we do need to make sure that we preserve some territory for Harad. But I think, you know, they've got these forts. They've got Umbar itself. I don't really feel like I want to take that either. Habad we can hold on to. So we'll probably be in a good position once we finish some of these buildings. So speaking of which, let's end the season. See what Harad wants to do. Okay, nothing. Public order is going away. We've got that spy issue up at 3 ways. And so hopefully that's going to eventually resolve itself somehow. Either that spy will die of old age or we'll catch him. All right, we did not lose Garth. And, geez, it's not looking good, though. 65%, and with negative income, we can't do anything to improve it. But we are looking better in terms of our income, minus 749. And, yeah, that is 80% garrison. I'm a little hesitant to leave this guy in here because he is, well, he's the heir. And he's potentially going to die. Now, let's see, so he's the governor. His alignment has got to be Ways of the West, yeah. And so the official alignment here is Ways of Darkness. But as we've seen, we take him out, we're going to be looking at a much worse public order. Well, 60%. Geez, is it worth it having him in for an extra 5%? If we have him out, we're actually making more money because he's not the best governor. I think we're going to do that. You know, if this rebels and we lose it, that's okay. We do have a few more Dominion-type buildings going, and one of them is Swanfleet. That's going to be a couple of seasons, and so, you know, we'll get some other buildings, and things should be good. But let's press our advantage down in Harad. We'll head down here, besiege Athendad, go for all of the rams we can build. Get our spies over to see what's going on. Okay, this guy is now gathering forces, so I expect to be hit in the next season here. This is their capital. I guess we could potentially intervene here. We could put it under siege with this army, or move this army back in its path. But you know what? Let's go for An Umbar. Let's just go threaten them over here. This should be a nice, juicy target. We'll just destroy everything and then leave. And that should get us, well, it may get us above the negative. Elsewhere, though, in the north, I think we're looking good. We just want to move this army up here. Keep going that way, and let's see about Dunland. Yeah, they still have us under siege at Anghal. Things are looking good, but they do have rams, so they could theoretically assault next season, and they may. And if they do, well, we do have a general, so that's probably the best thing. We do have a couple of horse archers, a couple of lancers, but none of these units are very strong. And this would be a pretty tough fight, actually. We've got 2 Dunlandish horsemen, full strength, and then we got 3 units of warhounds, which is a very annoying unit to deal with. We did capture Lond-Dare recently. So, we did not destroy everything here. We could do that. And here we go. We're back in the black. Okay, something I forgot to do in between seasons. So we took Lond-Dare. And, you know, I think we can get rid of this. Get rid of these libraries. We don't need no book learning. What is it? They read no books but sing many songs. Right. That's what the men of Rohan do. Okay. I think that's everything we want to destroy here. What about Homeland Dominion? Let's save that. We're still losing cash. I mean, it says that we're making it, but that's not accurate. But in a few seasons, we'll have some more things built, including this, which is going to be great. So we'll head up to Rivendell. We'll keep the forces coming towards Anghall. And then down here, yeah, a few more seasons, and we'll have Outland Dominion done. So next season, an attack from Harad. Yes, indeed. So this is the, let's see, this is the attacker. This is the attacking force coming from behind us with a pretty mixed group. Let's see, I think we've got enough swordsmen and enough archers and things that we're going to be okay with that force. And here, this unit is a problem. We do not have a great answer to big units of Black Serpent, or Serpent Black. So we'll see how this goes. The AI has chosen a pretty weird deployment for us. Swordsmen on the flanks here, spears in the center, levies. And then we've got some archers, but skirmishers also in the front, and then a big line of archers in the back. That's probably fine. Let's actually keep this. So we're going to get attacked from behind here. No, that's the garrison, sorry. So the attack is actually coming from our northeast. And then the garrison will be reinforcing. Since the attackers are going to be down here, we might be able to get up and grab the high ground from them. Okay, we've got to, let's see. There we go. And because we're going to be going from the high ground, I think I want to actually change this up because we want to get all the archers ready to fire. No obstructions.
The enemy have brought up reinforcements in a pathetic attempt to save themselves.
Alright, so reinforcements are coming from just over that hill, I guess. Or just over that oasis area. Or ruins. We're going to be able to start shooting pretty much immediately from this crest. And I'll just let them choose the targets. We've got Spearmen of the Serpent we're hitting. That's fine. Also taking out Swords of Harad. These archers are not going to be too much of a threat to us. Maybe I should have them shoot the Serpent Black unit. Yeah, let's do that. Aim for the general.
Mercenaries.
We should be able to get a nice downhill charge with our swords. And also lose some of the upkeep costs on these units. Alright, so we just match the units, the sort of heavy infantry units that we're facing here, which is good. We've really damaged that bodyguard unit, just 4 men left in that. I want to hold back my own cavalry for a little while. Oh, jeez, these guys fled fast. Okay. Alright, so I'll let them choose their own targets then. Alright, we need to go after the Serpent Black. If we kill him, we may be able to turn the tide here. I'm not sure. He's routing. Should be able to get him. Alright, so he's gone. Enemy general is now no more. Go right after those Swords of Harad. Then we'll take out the archers. And then turn on the spearmen if we can hold out that long. Shaken. We don't have any heavy cav forces in this host. So I really would have liked to have broken them before this. Oh, we're getting hit by Spearmen of the Serpent. You know what? You know what? This is one of those bad decisions, seems like. I don't know why you're going that way, but I guess this is not going to work out for us. So, do we withdraw? Or do we just kind of go back a little bit and let our archers do some more work? Their archers are pursuing. my fleeing men. You know, that's kind of okay, I guess. Let's take a closer look at this garrison. It's pretty weak, you know, obviously apart from this unit. If I can preserve my cav and some of my infantry and my archers, then I will be feeling better about this. Let's see if we can break these Swords of Harad. We really need to. That's a good charge. And they're gone. And they're bringing their friends with them. Awesome. We got plenty of arrows left in the quivers. This is spearmen who are shaken, and Swords of Harad who are wavering currently. So we may be able to get them gone pretty quickly indeed. With regard to these units, it's going to have to be a lot of cav stuff. And archers, of course. So, let's see. Let's get those archers set up. And I'm going to preserve my javelins if I can. You guys stop firing. Got a few javelins left for you. Oh, it's right. We do have Dunlending mercenaries that I completely forgot about. They're kind of a melee unit, but not really. Mostly skirmish. Alright, you guys all halt as well. We have to be kind of strategic with our arrows, I think. We've got footmen, swords, and of course the Serpent Black unit. That is going to be the biggest problem, because our guys are just scared of that bodyguard type. As we've seen in several battles, Serpent Black is scary to the men of Rohan. So what I'm kind of hoping to do here is to bait them to charge my archers, which shouldn't be too much of a challenge for the AI. They can't resist that. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of slow them down, if we can kind of mob them with our other infantry, and then charge in quickly with our cavalry. Going to ignore the footmen and hope that we can ignore the Swords of Harad. So this unit's already down to 20. Oh, beautiful. 13. Another volley or so. Put them on fire at will in case I forget. Alright, so we're going to lose some men to the Swords of Harad. Let's get my cavalry around. I'd love to charge them right through here. Alright, let's go after these footmen. Tie them up. Only 5 men left. If I can just get my cavalry in there. Only 3 men left. Alright, of course they're running around the other side. 2. And the archers are coming back too. Alright, and he's routing.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle it's beyond belief.
Come on, let's get him. He goes down, and we'll go for the archers next to the cav, and we'll let the our archers shoot down those Swords of Harad, and then hopefully we can beat up the footmen. Alright, great. They're broken. Could be a tough unit. These archers of Harad are pretty strong in melee. They at least have the option to fight in melee. Kind of like Gondorian or bowmen of Gondor. Or our other archers, honestly. Our own bowmen of Rohan are decent enough in melee. So we can pull back over here, and now charge everybody into the back of those footmen, and that should be the end of that. Alright, I think everybody's gone now. No units remaining on the battlefield. Let's see what's left. Yeah, just nothing at all. A heroic victory. We lost almost 300. That should get us the city. Alright, Athendad is ours. Let's take a look on the map here. I can't snap to it, unfortunately, on the mini-map. But we'll cruise down around here. Of course, we're going to lay desolate anyway. So we'll hit that. That gets us 5 grand. We're back up to over 12,000 in the bank. And, oh, we're doing some ambushing. Okay, I don't really want to do this. These Aridor Scouts are a very weak unit in a lot of ways, but I only have a single unit of cav, and I'm worried that they're going to do a lot of damage, so I'm going to withdraw from that battle. And fortunately, they did not follow that up with another attack. We got a proven commander, though. I'll absolutely take it. He is somewhat learned. He is intelligent. He's an Eisenmarcher, which is interesting. Probably not very useful where that's going to be, but he's competent, so we'll take him. So where is he? Adoption not completed. Okay. So disappointing. I don't know what causes that. Okay, so Athendad is now taken. Harad now has these 2 settlements. And that's it. Now, Karenbad, I can see, is under threat from Harondor. So, maybe what we want to do is leave Harad with Anumbar. Our finances are looking good again. We're looking just fine. Now, that may be in part because of Athendad. So let's just destroy this and pull out and just see what happens as a result. Harad may take it back. If they do, we'll just keep an eye on things. And yeah, I think I want to get everything out of this because I don't want to hold it. This is making us some good money in the short term. Okay, we can't destroy roads, but we can get rid of this. And yeah, let's do the Homeland Dominion. We're going to lose this in like a season. So we'll get them out of here and move on up to Habad. Similarly with this army, get back on friendly territory. Okay, so Athendad, with that gone, we're up to 33,000. Now again, the projected profits are based on all the buildings we destroyed, so that's not accurate. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think we've pretty much neutered Harad just about as much as we possibly can. I'm more worried now about Harondor tipping the balance, so we'll have to see what would be reasonable to do with regards to them. It's also, I'd forgotten that Harad still has Harlorn. I'm not sure if there's a family member here, but that's another place they could theoretically retreat to. So let's go for a couple more turns, see if we can get that Dominion building done in Habad. We can now do some restoring, but I'm not sure that it's going to make much of a difference. Policy is not... I'm looking for public order. Okay, so that actually helps. That goes up to 25. This won't do anything for our public order, and nor will this. So we'll just repair the Hall of Drinking, and then hope that this is going to gradually creep upward. But there's just not too much we can do about it, unfortunately. We're at just about as low population as we can possibly get. I don't think the unrest is from a spy or anything like that. We're just facing too much like culture penalties and distance to capital. So whatever was keeping us positive in terms of that settlement is now no longer the case. Part of it is because we don't have Dominion built everywhere. So once we lose this, that'll actually help, and then Habad will help as well at getting that Dominion done. So Dunland has actually retreated from Anghal before I even got a chance to go there. I guess that's fine. What we can do, and what we really ought to do, is move these guys out because they're just costing us cash. Let's see, we'll leave the mercenaries in there, and we'll probably need to leave a bunch of other stuff too. Okay, low income taxes leaves us with 45% public order. Right, all that stuff is good.
Captain.
So let's go with the archers are pretty good cost effectiveness. I hate to take them out of an army, but I think they'll be doing good work there. So we've got a big army here, and the question is what to do with it. I think the responsible thing is to probably deal with Tharbad, because this is the last force of Tharbad's that's in the region. We'll send this army north, but the idea is that it's very likely we'll have to head back to periodically deal with Dunland. I think that's okay. Keep moving these guys up towards Rivendell, and then we'll get them some reinforcements to deal with Tharbad. Now, this army is really pathetic, but we're going to have reinforcements coming pretty soon. Okay. They could attack us next season. Inside, we've got some archers, we've got some spears and axes. That might be enough to hold it off. And if I brought my king in close by, that could also work. Now, what is this? Is the reunited kingdom coming to help me? They may be. I'm going to go ahead and put my family member right there. Since public order in the Northgard fort is looking just fine, I'll also bring in some archers, axemen. Can I get away with the spears too? Yeah. Alright, so we've got all of that. Tharbad is looking a little unfriendly, but it's not going to rebel as long as it's under siege, I'm quite sure.
Captain.
So let's check out our news here. Alright, we did a bunch of retraining in Belligant that I did not order. And that is because we have it set to auto-run or auto-manage there. You can tell by the gears. Again, that's a bit of the risk of doing this. The benefit, again, is that it makes your family members or your generals more loyal. So let's check out his disposition. He's supportive. So probably that's in part because he's allowed to run his own city. However, what will happen is pretty much anything that can be retrained in a city will be retrained when it's auto-run. And I believe the same goes for repairs. If a building is damaged, it will be repaired if the city is on auto-manage, and you can't choose to not do that. All right, now that we're at 65, this guy might bring us up to 70. Yep, there we go. Up to 80. Beautiful. Okay. Let's gradually do some restoring. Let's go with the military policy. And I'm not going to do much else. I'm thinking we may be able to build something that could help public order up there. Alright, yeah, just 460 per turn. Wow, Dale and North Ruin are really clashing up here, it looks like. And Ruin is around Belligant, but we are as yet neutral with them. And a lot of interesting stuff is happening around here too. It looked like the Bjornings were going to take this city, but they did not. I imagine they will at some point though, because Adunabar just doesn't have any other ground to go to here. They don't have a lot of other production centers. I mean, they've got Mordor, but that's under threat and pressure from the Reunited Kingdom. And then, you know, Rovanian's getting in on this too. So we'll see how that all develops. Down here, so what to do about these armies? Well,
Captain.
we want like one army around here. We want to sort of consolidate things. So I guess we can disband. As much as it pains me to disband these sorting skirmishers, let's do that. Let's auto-merge everything. And we'll do the same thing here. Again, I usually hate to do this because I don't like to get rid of units on accident that I can, you know, keep otherwise. But I think it's just the most efficient way at this point. Okay, so after consolidating, doing just some disbanding, we have a pretty decent army here with a mix of cav, some infantry for potential sieges and whatnot, and some archers. And in the city, we've got a garrison that's also okay. We've got some bowmen of Rohan, and these are really more like reinforcement Rohan spears to send out to this this military force if it should be needed. So this will be our base of operations for a while, and then we will just send this this army out to deal with threats. Basically to save factions in the area who look like they're in trouble. That may include Harad, but once we lose this, we can start to get peace potentially with Harad themselves because we won't share a border with them. And so we'll be able to train an emissary here. In fact, actually, no, we don't have one. This is just a spy, so that's just fine. But we could train a scout, or an emissary rather, here. So we will be able to do diplomacy. So hopefully we'll lose this pretty soon. But let's deal with Tharbad. I think we've got one more fight in us here. Looks like this battle is going to take place right on the road if they're going to stick around and fight. And hopefully they will. We'll be able to destroy them, I think, because we've got a bunch of archers and cav. So just kind of surround, shoot them down, and end it quickly. Alright, this is pretty nice. It's not exactly the road type terrain that I was expecting. I guess there is technically a road over there. But we've got a pretty clear area for us to start this battle. We can start to surround them and start to cause problems for them. We've got 2 columns here that the AI set up for me of the Rohan spears, and so that's actually fine. I think I'm going to keep that. It's 4 to each side, so it's easy to keep those things straight. Get the archers in place, start pulling these guys towards us. They've got no ranged, so they've got no answer to this. And they've got some good stuff. I mean, compared to my own troops, in the right kind of fight, this army could do a lot of damage to mine. But I want to make sure that this is not the right kind of fight for that. They do have this Spears of the Bridge captain unit. And again, these are basically the equivalent of the Dunedain militia. But they've also got a lot of these axemen of Tharbad who will be slightly easier to hit with our arrows. And those guys are going to be getting into position and starting firing pretty soon. We've already got our horse archers over here. And then we've also got Rohan riders moving up to just do some harassment. So let's speed this up. We'll get them close enough to make these guys mad. All right, they're already reacting. I'm keeping my infantry and stuff back, with the thinking that we're going to do some withdrawing here, some targeted skirmishing. We want to pull them apart so that we can charge in with our lancers and make occasional attacks with our infantry at the right moment. I'd rather have my infantry face the Spears of the Bridge than the Axemen of Tharbad, I think, actually, because... Well, let's pull them back. I want to make sure they're all formed up before a charge, and we have plenty of room to do so. Axemen of Tharbad, there's just a lot of them. All right, here we go. That's going to have to be good enough. It's not the best. See how this goes. They're shooting in the back. Okay, fair enough. Our axes are going to receive that charge, and then we're going to form the hammer anvil, and they're already routing. All right, let's pull our cavalry out then. We can get those Spears of the Bridge between these 2 units. And let's actually halt. They're going to try to turn around, and they are going to turn around. So let's actually pull back. What's this? All right, some axemen got ahead of themselves. Actually, that's pretty fine. It looks like they're mostly withdrawing. And we did pull them apart quite a bit and do a lot of damage. Let's see what we can maybe do here on the way out. I'm not sure that we're going to go after much more than these spears of the bridge. But we will take them out. I guess we could hit those axemen of Tharbad, right? These spears are probably going to go pretty quickly too because they're being hit by my archers. Alright, and they're actually routing immediately, so that's nice. We'll get up here. These guys are tired. And those are eager. Yeah, let's send them all after. We do have a lot of military we're paying for. And I don't think we need quite all that we have. We could get by with a little less of it, so let's save some money here, get rid of some of our enemies, get rid of some of our costs. Oh, that worked out pretty well. Now, I will point out that the Rohan Spears unit, our most basic cavalry here, the Lancers with no shields, these guys, are what you get with Tharbad. They are what you get when you play Tharbad. They're your one unit of cavalry when you're playing as Tharbad. And people like to talk about how bad Tharbad is for cavalry. And, you know, that's true. They're the only faction who only gets a single native unit of cav. You know, other than the dwarves, obviously.
General flees. Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too.
But you could do a lot with these guys. But the thing is, you need to use a ton of them. So you just pile them all on and send them off in a horde, and they will ride over lots of things. So I think that'll be pretty much the end of this. We will get to the campaign map in a minute.
Victory! Captain.
So now that we've won that battle, eliminated that army, we can head north to relieve Tharbad itself. I'm contemplating ditching all the infantry here and seeing how much faster we can go. Let's get the infantry up there, and yeah, not close enough, but maybe it will be able to do a little bit of help once we get there. This army again is just looking very, very weak to me. I don't think they'll assault with just the equipment they've built, but you never know. If they do, I think we stand a pretty good chance of beating them. Okay, so this is good that I did that. Got a couple of spears, and what do we have here? Really just a family member for Cav, otherwise it's just archers and stuff like that. I guess we could go for some mercenary bowmen. They're very cheap. And then they're seriously going to stick around and fight. You know what? I'm not even going to bother. I know that they're going to just withdraw. I don't want to fight in the woods against spears. I'll deal with them the next time we can do it. We'll probably be able to attack them the next time, and they will not stick around, is my thinking. Well, now that Garth is looking as good as it's gonna look, I guess we could bring the king back down south. I'm not sure exactly how we want to play this Rune army, though. Again, we're neutral to them, but they're making these very threatening moves, and we're kind of letting them walk all over us because I don't want to start, you know, another war. They're probably going to stick around for a while, and they may be trying to figure out how to get at Dale because they're at war with them. They have not taken the dwarves out yet. I think that's kind of the only thing keeping me safe at the moment, plus the fact that we don't share a border. So hopefully they don't decide to start a war while they're on my territory. So that's kind of why I'm thinking I don't want to necessarily go onto the bridge or the crossing there, but we'll move a little bit closer, see what they do. Okay, and we are attacked by Tharbad. They are going to assault. All right, this will be interesting. I'm going to just uncheck this box repeatedly to make sure that he is going to show up not under the control of the AI. He's going to show up under my control, and then I'm going to race him over to the siege, and we're going to try to get rid of some of those light skirmisher units and just basically delay them while our archers are shooting at them on the walls. It's been a while. I don't think we've fought a siege defense battle for a little while. Well, when we lost Umbar, we did. But this will be different. Okay, so here's Tharbad, and yeah, they've got a pretty predictable pattern here. This is going to go for the gate. This is going to go for next to the gate. We have 2 archers. Let's take them off skirmish. And what kind of units are these? Okay, so both spearmen. All right. We've got our own spearmen that can be down at the gate, and we've got our general as axes of the mark. I'm wondering it might be better to put them back here. But then again, if we can hold them at or near the gate, then that would be good. Let's go quickly and find our king, or our family member. And everyone here is just going to run like mad. I guess we'll run them right into the city center, except for the cav unit.
Mercenaries.
So we're doing a lot of damage to these Ariador spearmen. They are just about the weakest kind of spearmen you can find. I'm not sure how they compare to like the footmen of Harad or the Easterling Warband, but I don't think it's that great. I mean, you get fewer men per unit. I think it's 90. They've got a shield, you know, like every spearman unit would, but really not much else. They've got basically no armor. One thing you can do to kind of mess them up a little bit is send your own units out in front of the gates when the ram is coming and click them to attack. They're going to stop pushing that ram for a little while. It'll buy you some time. Now, as long as your guys aren't going to rout and then open the gate for the enemy, this can work out well. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. All right, we're not killing a lot of them, unfortunately. And I'm a little worried we're going to get javelined to death in a moment, but that's why we've got the reinforcements coming. Let's take out this ladder. Okay, Rider Scouts are charging. Alright, where do we want to aim? Let's go here. I think we can rout these guys. Yep. Archers will now focus on those javelin men. We basically want to hold off the ram as long as we can and make sure that no one can get the ladders. Alright, let's come back here. Oh, that was great. Alright, one charge. We managed to rout this whole body. Now let's run our spearmen away a little bit. We'll keep chasing these guys. Start focusing on the Ariador Scouts. We've still got some arrows for our archers, enough to do a lot of damage to this unit. One of the rare skirmisher units with no shield. Harondor has one, the Plainsman skirmishers. But I think every other skirmish unit in the game has a shield. Alright, this is good. I think we're fine. They're going to regroup slightly. These guys are possibly going to rout before they even manage to get to the ram. Yeah. So this spearman unit definitely took some losses. Some friendly fire as well, due to the gate, the towers, and everything. But meanwhile, we've got the central plaza full of men. Oh, we do have these other units that I completely failed to notice. But if they want to try getting to the ram, you know, that's fine. We'll bring the axes of the mark in. Between that and let's get these spearmen as well. And then we should be able to deal with them, no problem. Alright, so no more arrows for these mercenary bowmen. Okay, great. They're going to go for the ram because they have no other option other than to go for the ladder, but it makes more sense, I guess, for them to use the ram. Let's wait for them to pick it up. That will, I think, hurt their formation a little bit. They're just completely ignoring us and pushing on through. Alright, time to charge in the Riders of the King's House. There we go. Beautiful stuff. So we've saved Tharbad. And then we've got some other cities in the area, but really not too many. Alright, they're going to respond by putting a Northgard fort under siege. That's just fine. I'd like to hold out for a better husband. Lazy, unintelligent, but charismatic. I mean, this could theoretically be good for a governor somewhere with low public order, but if he's bad, that's just not going to help. But we do have a siege over here at Londare, so Dunland is causing trouble still. We should be able to get there in a couple of turns. We haven't really done anything with this. We haven't made it our own yet with our own Dominion building. So if we lose it, it's not the end of the world, but we can get there in a couple of seasons. And I think this army should be able to deal with all of that. We'll send the cavalry up to push Tharbad back, and then now we're really looking at Tharbad. You can have like 2 places. I'll give you like 2, maybe 3. I think technically there's 3 settlements in this region. You've got this one, Western Cardolan at Ridmalin. We've got Minhiriath, and then we've got Erenvorn, I think it's called. So we've got 3 cities, and they're all fairly... The other 2 are fairly close to each other. Those could be Tharbads, right? But I think everything else, I don't know, I kind of want it. Like, maybe on the other hand, we could leave Tharbad these places, but I'm not so sure. These are probably the better places to have, in a sense, although they are farther from my capital, so it might be more difficult to hold. I have to think about that. But now that force is no longer around, the army that was in this region. I'm going to go ahead and buy some Dunlandings. We're doing pretty okay in our profits. We're back up over a couple grand per turn. We're looking pretty healthy in terms of our treasury amount. But yeah, those are the 2 units that we faced a little while ago. And it looks like what Tharbad is doing now is getting all of its forces around to deal with the Reunited Kingdom. And just man those borders and try to take the Watchtower of Amansul, stuff like that. They're possibly also trying to hold on to places in the far north. And they're not doing anything to Adunabar up here, which is fine. So it might be okay for me to try for Rivendell. We'll go ahead and put that under siege. It's got a nice stone wall. And so we'll get those ladders and things up there inside the city. Only 2 units. So they're not going to both be on the walls either. We just need to get a couple of different ladders, points to take the walls, and then we should be good to sort of circumnavigate them, capture the towers, and then move on through. But I think this makes a pretty decent spot for us to stop. We have righted the ship of our economy. We have defended Garth. We have defended Tharbad, and I think we're in a really good position regarding Tharbad. I've still got to decide which direction I ultimately want to go in terms of leaving Tharbad alive. I'd been thinking leaving them this until just now because it seems like this would be easy for us to hold. So maybe we could leave them like this far northern area. We could take Lastbridge, maybe these two, Rivendell, and then everything else down here, and then Tharbad can have, you know, the cold northern waste, something along those lines. But at any rate, down in the south, we're looking pretty decent. We'll just have to see how this all plays out. We did finally lose Lower Hairdwraith, and actually that has helped things immensely, I think, both in terms of our income and our public order, actually. This was not really making us any money. So someone will take that at some point. It's going to be someone else's problem. Maybe Harad, maybe Far Harad. But we'll see in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching this one. Until then, take care.